I am so thrilled. It's Marsha Grace here, your modern meditation mentor. It's Friday, and we are here to talk about how to release stress in some form. For years now, I've been doing this. Every week I come and talk about all the many, many ways that we can help ourselves to stay calm and clear and confident and all that good stuff. So that's why I bring on wonderful guests like I have today. And I can't wait to introduce her to you. And I just want to say that I will be doing a new program, which I'm really excited about. It's called Miracle Mastery Mind, and it's going to be a 5-week session, I think. I'll be sending out the details soon, but I just want to make sure everybody knows we're talking about metaphysics. We're talking about the connection between spirit and body, and how we can use spirituality, the woo-woo stuff, in a very practical way. Okay, good. So that's what I wanted to say. And now, without further ado, I want to tell you about this lovely lady that we see here. She is Marilyn Vrooman-Robertson, and she is a certified exercise therapist, a personal trainer for the aging population, a brain health trainer, and you're going to hear more about why that is, and the owner of MVR Fitness. She's a body whisperer and a purveyor of hope and joy. And I also want to say that she works with 55 plus clients to help them, get this, turn back the hands of time. And wow, isn't that fantastic? We all want to do that, don't we? So what else do I want to say? This is her second career. And the reason is because she sustained a simple slip and fall on an icy sidewalk, and it changed her life. Unable to return to her career as a corporate governance professional due to the long hours of stress and screen time, she elected to spend the next year focusing on recovering from this trauma that she had to her body and her brain. A specialized team of health professionals, including her trainer, helped her recover. She had to relearn everything from catching a ball, walking on the treadmill, rebalancing her body, and developing confidence that her body and mind would show up for her as it had before. Yeah, we all want that, don't we? And in that process, she became passionate about wanting to pay it forward by becoming a fitness professional in her style, an exercise therapist. That's what makes Marilyn unique. And she's even more unique, even in that sense. You know how the story goes when you read her bio, because today she works with a cross-section of clients living with various health challenges, helping them to become strong mentally and physically so they can do the things they love. That career brings me such joy. She's married to her best friend, Kevin, and they're a blended family with having 7 children. I want to hear all about these kids. 7 kids, wow. And 6 grandchildren. I got you beat by 1. I've got 7 children. And exercise and fitness obviously are a large part of her life. She cycles, she lifts weights, she canoes, she kayaks, hikes, gardens, and she travels the world playing with her grandkids and her husband. So, and these are all because she's staying fit, right, Marilyn?
That's right.
This is amazing. Okay, so first question. After reading that bio, we hear how you paid it forward because you went through this traumatic experience, and as a result, you saw the incredible help that you were able to get through your trainers to get better again, to go back, get back, and maybe even be better. So talk a little bit about that experience and why you're so passionate about what you do today.
Sure. So I live in Alberta, Canada, and our falls, October, November, they're kind of miserable sometimes. And on this particular night, I'd come home from work and I did not want to walk the dog. I didn't. It was so slippery, like the ice was thick. But, you're not going to have a dog and not walk it, not give it exercise, especially when it's been home all alone all day. So off the dog and I go. And I walk this, I've been walking this for, I don't know, 15, 18 years at this point. And I don't know, I know exactly where it happened, but somehow or another, I slipped and down I went, hit my head. And, it was, the crazy thing was is that morning I had been in the gym. I was lifting about, I don't know, 160, 165 pounds. I was strong, but I couldn't get up. Right. It's like, so I had this disconnect in my mind about how can I be so strong and my body not show up? How is that possible?
Mm, 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 mm.
So, I spent the next, I had to come off work, of course, and I spent a lot of time with this team who helped me out. Tried to go back to work, when I could work part-time, which was great. And I'm getting to why I do this. But I went back to work and it was at year end. And in the corporate governance world, like the accounting world, year end means long hours, so much stress working with the board. And I always say that I was chasing the sunshine because or the sunrise, because I worked for a tri-listed company. And within 3 months, my symptoms had come back, but they were multiple times worse than the first time, which is very common when your symptoms come back. So anyway, it became obvious to me that my career was over because that was my life, long hours, screen time. And I chose to walk away.
And how long ago was that you had your accident? When did that happen?
3,
Well, you just cut out. What did you say?
3.5 years ago. It was
Oh,
in
okay.
2019.
2019. Okay, not that long ago. Right?
Not that long ago. So to just put some, I'd been a power lifter. I was actually, when I got hurt, I was preparing for competition. And again, I was really strong. And yet I had become someone who couldn't walk a block, couldn't listen to music, couldn't listen to women's voices, couldn't walk on a treadmill. And
that must have been devastating. I mean, really, it stopped you from living the life that you had been living. Yeah.
Yes. And I the biggest part was the loss of who I am or who I was.
Right.
And like many of your clients, I suspect, Marcia Grace, my being was wrapped up in my career.
Of course. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And all of a sudden I didn't have that. Right. I used to talk to people all over the world on a regular basis. And all of a sudden I wasn't talking to anybody except my my healthcare professionals. And they were amazing. Like, they really put me back together. And it was during the beginning of COVID. And so, I couldn't go to the doctor's office. I couldn't go to my vestibular therapist. I had to do it online. And so, because I had trouble looking at screens, I always looked like this. She'd be talking to me and I'd look over here for a second. Okay, yeah, I know what to do. Okay. Anyway, but in that, then the gyms reopened and I met this new personal trainer, not one who was involved in strength, like my coach, but she was a rehab trainer and she helped me do the smallest things, catch a ball, right? Because I could not catch a ball, couldn't walk on the treadmill, got dizzy. And she did little tiny things that when you put them together was miraculous. Yeah. So now that's why fitness is important to me, because my own fitness journey made me strong. I can't imagine what this would have been like if my muscles had not been strong. It would have been terrible because I didn't have to worry about that part of my body. And so when I think about people as they are, when I think about fitness and why it's important, my injury at the time of life when I had it, it makes me think about aging. It makes me think about what's it like to be, I don't know, 65 years old and not, like, maybe you're out of shape and maybe you're having a few, seniors moments. Haven't we all climbed the stairs and went, why did I come here? Uh,
Yep, yep. Your story is just very inspiring, that had this experience and then you just made this decision, you quit your job, obviously, and took up, you went for training, I know that. And then you started with clients. Now, the work that you do with your clients that you say is helping them to turn back the hands of time. I just love that expression because, as you just mentioned, if you're 65 and you're kind of like out of shape and what have you, how do you help your clients do that? How do they help them turn back the hand of time? Is it just body-based? Are you just giving them like exercises to do, or I don't know. Well, what are you doing with them?
Sure. So it's a bit of a process. The very first thing I do with clients is understand their why. Why it's important to them that they're getting fit. And it's funny, a lot of people contact me in the very beginning and say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, why do they want to lose 20 pounds? Ultimately, it's because they want to move better, because they want to play with their grandchildren, they want health. So it becomes a process of assessing the body. How does the body work? By the time we get to 55, 65, 75, we all have some injuries, some imbalances. I don't know anybody who doesn't have those. And so it's understanding what exercise is right for you. If you have, hip arthritis, you're not going to be doing jumping jacks.
I don't
right?
think so, no.
If you have low back problems, you're not going to be sitting and pulling weights. It's understanding how your body operates and what it needs, because fitness is perfect for every single body, but it's understanding which exercises are appropriate for you. And so the person isn't going to get hurt, or it reduces the likelihood significantly. But what happens when a person is able to move and they can see this progression happening, because it's all science-based, how you progress the body. Sorry, I missed a really important part. My very first goal when I work with a client is to get them out of pain. And that's what happens in that assessment, understanding their body, putting their body back into alignment. If muscles, your body is this wonderful yin yang of, if you were to take your legs and think about the front of your legs and the back of your legs, there has to be an equal amount of strength there. Or you're going to be.
You mean the muscles in your thighs, for instance, should be strong in the front of the thigh as well as in the back of the thigh?
Yes.
Oh,
They're not perfectly even. There does need to be a little bit of difference there. But if you are too strong on the front of your thigh, it's going to pull your body forward. And so it's fixing all those, and all those things are fixable. And understanding, that's the very first thing we do. Understand.
No, I'm sorry, but I just popped. You told me a story about how you got a new client recently, that you were out in the street somewhere, I don't know, wherever you were walking around, and you saw this woman. Can you tell this story? Because I love this story of how it was such a great, what you noticed and what happened.
Sure thing. So I was actually at the airport, and I was coming. I was waiting for my flight, and I saw this lady in front of me, and she walked with this shoulder was up as she walked, and there was this limp. And I got nothing to do but kill time. You have to be there 2 hours early. Right. And I followed her into the washroom like a stalker, and, and said, this is what I do for a living. Can you tell me about why you walk like what is this about? I'm wondering if I could help you. And so when she was, finished her business, we went back out into the airport lounge where everybody was sitting, and I did a couple little, assessments on her that took less than 5 minutes, and said, oh, okay. And I gave her some exercises to do, like just one set of like, half a dozen exercises. And she got up and she was straight. And it's
Oh, you did it right then and there. Right then
right,
and there.
right. And I gave her my card. I said, it hurts my heart to watch you. And it doesn't have to be this way. But, our doctors can only do so much. They only know so much. They can't know it all. And I think sometimes the aging population gets looked over. Like, oh, everyone's got limps. Everyone's got.
Yeah, it's just assumed, right? You're going to have aches and pains and you have to live with it.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say that just because she was straight at that moment, she's not going to stay straight, right? A couple hours from now, she's going to be crooked again. But if she does those, I asked her for her email address. I said, can I send these to you? Can I send these exercises to you so you have a good reference? And I did. And as long as she does those exercises, 6 to 8 weeks, she'll be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Great
Yeah.
stuff. I love that. I love that. Well, speaking of older people, that's not us, right? I mean, we're
No, old people are way older than us.
I always say age is just a number.
It is.
That's all. It's all about attitude, which brings me to my next question. Well, two questions actually. The first one, how in our conversations, you've mentioned that aging has changed in the last 40 years. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure thing. It's all based on science. We know so much more about our bodies than we did. We're living much longer. Like the age expectation, or what's the word I'm looking for? The expected age of someone now is women 86,
Life
83.
expectancy. Life expectancy you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And what that means is that we need to be, because we're living longer, we need to look after our bodies so that we are not confined to living a less life than what we wish. We do want to be active. We want to participate in our communities. We want to play with our grandkids. And I can imagine that being stuck sitting in your chair is just not very exciting. So to be able to take exercise and make the body and the brain stronger, and to give person mobility to the best of their ability. Like, we're not all going to be running down the street, but to enjoy life. That is precious.
It sure is. It sure is. It's very
It is.
precious. If
Yes.
you so do you just work with the body, or is there
No,
more to it?
there's more to it. And that's what else we've learned, what science has taught us. Fitness is all encompassing. So yes, we do work with the body, but I work on balance. I work on, being able to move. I work with the brain. So people who are having difficulty, like walking up the stairs, and go, why did I forget that? Or I can't remember what was on the 3 things on my grocery list. Or people who are concerned about Alzheimer's, or maybe they've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I work with those people. And through assessments, we can identify, and of course, working with the doctors, we can identify what area of the brain needs to be strengthened, just like a bicep. What muscle do we have to work?
So you're saying there's a correlation between exercising the body and also the possibility of not having Alzheimer's?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we can turn back the hands of time a little bit. There is, through a series of particular types of exercises. So you might be doing squats to the chair and catching a ball. You might be walking and trying to count backwards. It's about using different parts of the brain, doing different activities will reignite that brain. So someone who has Alzheimer's, we can't cure it, we can't prevent it, but we can turn it back. and, and extend the time that they are fully with us. And
Okay, that's
right,
encouraging. Yeah, that's amazing. That
it
that
is
really is encouraging. Actually, I had heard, oh, I shouldn't say anything, but I had heard that there are things that there is a connection between the body and the brain that
yes,
can be strengthened, which is what you're saying, and definitely helps the situation when it comes to staving off Alzheimer's because
yeah,
of a buildup of the plaque or something. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't remember the exact details, but hey, it doesn't hurt. That's for sure to do the
that's
things you're talking about.
right. And I want to turn this to stress for just a moment,
Okay.
because when I about your clientele, Marcia Grace, and they, you know, um, they're at the peak of their career. If they're, they're busy executives, the stress level is significant, and that stress affects the brain. And through exercise, through meditation, through good nutrition,
Mhm.
we can reduce that stress. And again, it all comes back to enjoying life, to having healthy relationships. And maybe they really love working. It allows them to continue being more effective. But it takes a concerted effort to put oneself first.
Oh, indeed. Oh, boy. I think that's the biggest hurdle that I come up against with some of my clients is that they just it's so hard for them to make time for themselves. You know,
Yes.
wait a minute. I got to take care of me first because if I take care of me, nothing else is going to work well. But they don't get that far. It's like
Right.
I got to do, and it's putting out all these fires, and that's what builds the stress. I forget which yoga master said if you're you should meditate an hour a day. That would be optimum. You could meditate, and if you're really busy, you should meditate 2 hours a day.
I love that.
I said, who in the world is going to do that? But the idea is you need it. You need it.
You
You need it.
need,
Yeah. So talk to me more about. You mentioned good diet. Do you work
yes.
with diet idea, food stuff? Do you work with your clients in terms of what they're consuming?
Well, I don't recommend diets, but I do, in fact, like, if someone is saying to me, uh, I'm trying to think of a real life experience here. I really want to lose 20 pounds, but if they're eating, we look at what they're eating. Are they going out for lunch and having fast food? Are they drinking wine? Oh, the big one. Are they not keeping hydrated with water? Right. So it's looking at the big overall, components of nutrition. Are they eating breakfast? Yes. Are they, are they eating breakfast? And are they getting enough protein? Because oftentimes people are not. And the older we get, the more we need.
Yes, I just read that. Isn't that
Yes.
interesting? And I think a lot of people are trying to stay away from meat
Yes.
or red meat anyway, but there are
Mhm.
lots of other ways to get protein for
Oh,
sure.
there's so many ways. Like, um, you know, you could have tofu in a limited amount. You could have, there's beans and legumes, and some of
Mhm.
our vegetables have protein. And
I use
oh,
a pea powder in my smoothies, which is
yeah,
very high protein. And
yes.
yeah, and I guess, well, they have this meatless. I haven't tried any of that, like Beyond Meat or whatever it is, these
Oh,
vegetable type of things. I don't
mhm,
know. Haven't tried them.
mhm.
Have you tried any of those?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
my diet is actually extraordinarily clean because it supports my brain. Um, and I don't eat things that cause inflammation, because inflammation recreates my symptoms. So
Ah,
my diet.
right. Like what? You take like sugar and well, like what kind of things do you avoid?
So I avoid dairy because dairy it causes inflammation. I avoid sugar as much as possible. Like, we all fall down, especially at Christmas time, right?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my! And those are the big ones for me. I try not to, I don't drink very much. I might have, a couple drinks a month. Again, those sorts of things cause inflammation, and keep moving. Make sure you're getting lots of vegetables like cabbages, like lots. There's just so much that we can do in our life that promotes a positive being. And eating a good nutrition makes you happier because your
It does.
body's not willing
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
just exist.
So I know you're very busy. How do you find time to, you obviously, I mean, when you say you eat very clean, that means you have to cook.
I do cook.
Right. You have to cook because there's no other way. I mean, either
That's right.
you want to eat clean, you got to make it yourself. That's all
You
there is to it. Yeah.
do.
So do you have any tips, quick, fast, how to prepare something fast? I mean,
Absolutely.
oh, great. Let's hear it.
Ahead of time. So sometime on the weekend, I have oatmeal. I have a concoction of oatmeal I have for breakfast, and I do all of those ahead of time, so that I just dump them into a bowl because I'm up and out of the house really early. I do that. My salads, I try and make them ahead of time. So then all I got to do is add in the whatever. I don't add tomatoes, of course, until that last moment. But even dinner, figuring out what you're going to have for dinner, making two of something so that you can enjoy it.
That's what I do. Yeah, if I'm baking something or roasting a chicken or something, I can
Mhm.
eat it over several days so that
Yes.
one cooking time, and then it's all ready to go. Yeah, that makes it a
Yes.
lot easier. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And I
excellent. I love that's a great tip.
variety. Right? Get lots of vegetables and fruit, and you know,
Yeah, sounds great. All right, so tell us now. Uh, so when you work with someone, tell us how you work with a person. I mean, how do people work with you? How does that go?
so I don't work in a big gym. I elected to either work in person, so you can work in my studio in my house. You can work. I go to their house, so in person, or I work virtually with clients. It's much more challenging, especially in the beginning, trying to figure out, like, especially if they're a long distance from me, it's a bit more, it takes longer as I try and figure out what's happening with your body because I can't be there to touch and feel and, but that's how I work with people. And I
So
have a number of
you can work virtually, you're saying you can.
absolute,
Okay.
absolute,
But it
yes,
take a little bit longer, but you can
yes. And
still.
I often get them to bring a friend over, and that I tell that friend how to be my hands. And
Oh, cool, good, great idea. Yeah, cool. I love
move
that.
this direction. And then
That
the client can tell me what's happening. Um, yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah, that's what a great way to solve that problem. Excellent. I love it. All right, great. So people can work with you and virtually or in person. You're in Canada, so I know. I mean, we haven't gotten together yet because of that. I mean, we're not exactly around the corner, but
That's right.
someday we're gonna see each other, and I can
Yes.
give you a big hug. Um,
There's a cup of tea there waiting for us, Marcia Grace.
yes, indeed, you bet. So let me ask you, um, is there anything else that you absolutely want people to know about what you do, how you do it, or anything else that comes to mind? Just, as we're wrapping up here.
Just that um, fitness is for every single person. Right? If you don't have use of your legs, maybe you got use of your arms, right? If you don't have use of your arms, you got use of your legs. Get out and walk, but it's more than walking. Resistance training is the fountain of youth. And there's lots of YouTube videos. You can call me. I'll give you some ideas. Um, Start with bands. You don't have to lift big weights. Start with bands. Use your hands. But be active because that is longevity, and have a purpose.
Have a purpose. Oh, I like that. So when you say have a purpose, give some suggestions. What would be somebody's purpose? Yeah.
People who are still working, often their purpose is their job and their family. People who have retired, what's getting you up in the morning? Are you volunteering at the local school? Are you volunteering at the senior center? Are you writing a book? You have a purpose in life, and that is shown to be a key component to aging well.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Marcia, you and this wonderful business that you have it's marvelous.
Well, having a purpose is so powerful. And I think that, as you say, there's so many different, each person's unique, right? We're all unique. So we all have that particular inner knowing, and getting in touch with that inner knowing sometimes is really the hardest part. It's the hardest part because we're so outer directed that we don't really think about, we're concerned about how others see us as opposed to how we are seeing our world. And
Yes.
And that really can slow us down in finding our purpose. So and that's really what I do. I work with people to help them do just that, find their purpose by going within, and spending that really powerful, what I call sacred time,
Yes.
discovering who am I, well, what am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? And finding that out. And it's so wonderful when we do. It's just so it's just such a wonderful, wonderful feeling when you watch the light bulbs go on, right? And I'm sure
Yeah.
when you're working with your clients too, when they realize, oh, I'm doing this move and look what it's doing for me, it's just so exciting.
It is. And I have to say, sometimes clients don't recognize the progress they're making.
Mm.
And I see it because I can see them.
Right.
But the time that they see it in themselves, Marcia, Grace, like there's a celebration, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know, it's funny when you were talking about walking, and when we were really in the depths of COVID and nobody was going anywhere and we were all locked down, people were gaining weight because they were sitting around in their houses. I lost 20 pounds because I happened to be fortunate. I live near the water, and it was, especially during the spring and the summer and the fall, I was walking to the beach,
Yep.
watching the sunsets, hanging out with people. Everybody's wearing masks, we're at a distance, but we're yoo-hooing to each other. and, and I actually lost 20 pounds. So you can do it, just like you said, when you have a purpose and you want to accomplish something, it's all about the mindset. It always goes back to mindset. And when we're ready, we're going to find a teacher or a helper or a trainer or whatever, like you, to help us get where we want to go, because you can't do it by yourself. For the most part, you really need help. You need support. I mean, my neighbors were my support because I wanted to go see them.
That's right.
Get out the door and go. So oh boy, this has been wonderful. Now I know that you have something to offer to people who are going to either watching now or will do so later.
Yeah.
Would you please tell us what that free gift is?
Sure. There are a lot of things that we do on a regular basis that cause pain and stress in our bodies. And so I put together this little ebook about the top 7 things that cause pain in the body. And I would probably guess that most people do 5 of them. And just being aware of those will help your body have less pain. And so anyway, you can find it on my website. Please download.
I want to put that in the chat here. To tell me just give me the URL.
Sure. You can go to so it's MVR Fitness YYC
YYC.com. YYC.com.
Yeah.
/.
No, you I don't remember the whole address, but if they just go to just a second.
It was
where is it? I think I said it to you. A second.
right, well, can they find it if they just go to your website?
They can.
Okay, and what are
They
they
can.
looking for?
They're
Do you know?
just looking for mvrfitnessyyc.com. And if they scroll down to the bottom, if they go to contact me, you'll find the download there.
Okay, contact you. All right. Wonderful. That sounds like such a wonderful gift to know how we can prevent pain. I think that's something
True.
everybody would like to have. So thank you so much for offering that and for being here today and just sharing all the your joy. It's obvious to see you love what you do, and that
Mhm.
and that to me says everything, because when you love what you do, chances are you do it very well, and your clients appreciate it and get tremendous value out of it. So thank you so much, Marilyn. I really look forward to spending more time and hearing more about the things that you're doing, and appreciate so much you coming on, spending some time with us today. So thank you again for all that you do and being in the world and being the light that you are for everyone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I say to everyone all the time, every week, you always hear this from me, everything begins with a thought. So notice your thoughts so that you can eliminate the ones that are causing you distress. And one of the
Love
ways,
that.
one of the thoughts is, I need to take care of my body, right? I need to take care of my body. So go talk to Marilyn and go to her website, read what she's got there, and have a beautiful and blessed day and weekend and week ahead until I see you again. Thank you again, Marilyn. It's been a joy. So take care, be well, and we'll see you around. Yeah.
You will. Thank you so much, Marcia Grace. Such an honor to spend time with you and all the folks who follow your wonderful mentoring. You are truly the marvelous mentor. And
Thank you,
anyway,
honey. Thank you
all
so
right.
much.